Okay, welcome guys to this video. I am going to be talking about Star Wars. Don't mind the noises around me, they're just ambient noises, cars and such. But just think of them as like shuttles and like I'm in a marketplace on Tatooine or something. I really want to just not go into everything, like every little detail about Star Wars. I'm just going to talk about what's important to me and what I take away from the series. And I'm just going to do like a really relaxing video for you all. And there's going to be images playing over, mainly from, well, I think all from Battlefield 2. It came out in 2017. Every Star Wars fan is different, and I guess it all comes back to your own experience and how you were introduced to the series, and I mean, for me, it has been like a kind of modern day fairy tale, and there are some elements that I love about it and some elements that I have very little interest in. But for me, the main thing is the original trilogy. I love and adore and always have, and it was what I was first introduced to. And then slowly, I can't honestly remember the first Star Wars film that I saw. It's either Empire Strikes Back. I have glimpses of memories of, I remember seeing Jabba's palace like when I was very young. It was on TV, like very, very young. And I remember Empire Strikes Back, but then I also remember it may have been A New Hope that I saw first. I'm not sure. I do remember I wasn't that impressed by A New Hope. But my favourites have always been Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Just because they are very connected films. One is a cliffhanger that leads into the other. But that kind of led me on into the games that were on Super Nintendo at first, and then PC, and then all the other platforms. And I guess the games are like an extension. They allow me to kind of interact with that universe, and those are the aspects that I really like. I'll just list down the games that I adore, and Star Wars games are really well made and entertaining and everything. So I think the first Star Wars game that I played was Super Star Wars Empire Strikes Back on the Super NES, and I would always rent that out, and it was very difficult to play. And then I think I played Return of the Jedi on Super NES. There was, my cousin had a game from the mid-90s or something, and it had like cutscenes that were really really well done, and that really impressed me. I never played it, but it was it's one of those mid-90s games, and I don't know, there's noise around me. What else? There was a few pinball games that I've played. The Star Wars original trilogy arcade system that you had to go to the arcade to play it, and that was an amazing game. I finished that in one sitting. Then The Phantom Menace came out, and I was really into that. Like, I didn't think it was a bad film. As a kid, I loved that film. Like, it was an amazing experience, and Star Wars being reinvigorated. And around that time, they released the original trilogy again, the special editions. And I guess George Lucas gets a lot of criticism for his special editions, but they did polish up the images and that a great deal from what, if you saw the original trilogy when it came out, it didn't look as polished as it does. Like, they really did a lot of improvements to it. And I've seen some of the despecialized editions, and like, they do make improvements, but they do have things that don't need to be put into films. Like, you know what I'm talking about. What else? I'm not a big... I don't read the novels or anything. Getting back to the Phantom Menace, there was a game on the PS1 that came out, the Phantom Menace, and I was really into that. I wanted to get Rogue Squadron, but I didn't have a Nintendo 64, so I never played that. But I always fantasized about those images. It looked like an awesome game. And then I think I took a break from Star Wars. Like, I lost interest in it as the prequel trilogy continued. But I always had that love in the back of my mind for the films from the 70s and 80s. I appreciate them much more than a story point of view. I appreciate sound design, the score, obviously. John Williams is some of his finest work, and personally I think The Empire Strikes Back is my favourite film score out there. I listen to it continuously. What else? I'm just rattling off things. And then I think I got an Xbox 360 and started playing like The Force Unleashed and The Force Unleashed 2, and then they started bringing out like Battlefront. Battlefront 1, I didn't like that at all. I prefer like campaigns and story mode. And then we come to Battlefront 2 Star Wars. And they really took on the fans' requests and made a decent story mode. And you get to fly some of these amazing crafts, as you can see in this video. And it's just that invigorating thrill of flying like the Millennium Falcon and like a TIE Fighter and all the crafts. I just really love flying games, and they like flying in a dogfight in Star Wars is like every person, like my dream. Just the sound effects as well, and the colours of everything. It's just they get it. They've done it perfectly. And I can't stand Star Trek or anything else. I just see them as I don't like them at all. Star Wars for me is perfect. I don't need anything else. And even like, it's a good thing they did this new trilogy. Every few years, I think Star Wars deserves a boost. Like, we need a break from it, and then they bring it back, and it reminds everyone how much it means to them. So there's that, and it has like, it's brought the Lego back. Like, I was a big Star Wars Lego collector as well, and I've built many models. You can see many of my old videos of like just building Star Wars shuttles and stuff. But yeah, every time I look like out at the ocean, the horizon, it's kind of that feeling that I get when it's a really nice sunset or something. I get that feeling of Luke when he was looking out after his uncle and aunt were murdered. You kind of get, you know what he was thinking, like, there's an adventure always on the horizon, and you kind of look at it and get excited by life, and that's the great thing about Star Wars. This young boy's journey out into the world. He had doubts about himself, and there's a lot of things he didn't know, and he became this great Jedi Knight. It's just the arc of the first trilogy is just something so good, so great. I just love those films, and I love that period of filmmaking. I don't think they can replicate that. CGI just seems so hollow. In the new trilogy, I think I did like Force Awakens when it came out. I was like everyone else, I was anticipating this return to Star Wars. And I actually really did like The Last Jedi. I know half of the world population probably hates The Last Jedi. I still know people who have never seen Star Wars, and I just think you're missing out on something huge. then again, I don't really have any interest for the Harry Potter universe or anything like that. So Last Jedi, they did make a lot of errors, and it was kind of stupid in parts, but it was at least different. It was, it took Star Wars in an interesting... You didn't know what was going to happen, really. With Force Awakens, you kind of expected everything, and same with Rise of Skywalker. That's probably the worst film in the entire series for me. But I guess Star Wars is also... It's about taking risks and challenges. Like when George Lucas made the first film, there was lots of problems with it, and people were saying this was not going to work. No one's going to watch this. It's ridiculous. Like a walking dog in space. Like, who's going to watch this? But it had elements that other science fiction didn't have, and it kind of brought it into the mainstream. And going forward, there's still so much life in Star Wars. It's never going to go away. I just think maybe every 10 years it'll come back. It's I think I read it's like the 5th highest grossing kind of media franchise, so it's never going to go away. But the thing about the films is you have to give something that that expands on the mythos and gives you something new. With this new trilogy that came out, it was just like a rehash of all the old ideas, and I was like so bored watching the Rise of Skywalker. And the final battle, I couldn't even see half of it. It's like it was mostly black. So I'll probably have to rewatch it again, but I couldn't stand the characters. The only one I really liked was Kylo Ren, and even he kind of made some stupid decisions. But I guess we've got to be thankful for this. It allowed Star Wars to have a reinvigoration, and now it's time for it to go away again. I guess The Mandalorian is out there. I kind of got bored after the 3rd episode. Like, just seems like filler most of the time. I can't stand shows like that. Some people love them, but there's only so much of watching some guy walk through a desert that I can take. So I hope this Star Wars ASMR video has been good. Again, I just love all the locations of Star Wars, and I don't think there's a bad location at all. They're all amazing. And they still capture my imagination to this day. So, I hope you really enjoyed this, and leave your favourite moments of Star Wars, what you love about it the most, in the comments if you want. I'd be happy to read them. And yeah, hope this video was relaxing for you. So thank you very much for watching, and like, share, subscribe, and stay safe in this coronavirus world.